So is this gonna make him turn into a killer? Hey everyone, welcome to Prince of the Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 7 of To Be Hero X. And I have found out that this is the last episode of this arc. I didn't look up any spoilers or anything, of course, but I do know that this is the last episode of this arc. The next arc is also 3 episodes long. And so, I just want to get this out off the bat. We are going to be taking a break after the next arc. This is a 24 episode series, and that's about as best as we can get for about halfway through, I feel. So we're going to take a break halfway through the series and then come back to it later. Come back to the rest of it and, get into it. But let's talk about last time. So one of these characters, I'm trying to remember the names. I apologize. I can look it up. I should still have the Wikipedia open. I could just look up the last episode so that doesn't spoil me. Last episode was episode 6. Chow? Let me look up does episode 5 give the full name? Yang Chen is our main character. He's the new Easel. His crush is Xia Qing. I might be mispronouncing that. I apologize. Pomelo is her little brother. Shang Chao. Shang Chao was killed at the end of the last episode by a mysterious person. We just don't know who it was. But he was killed because he was wearing the mask, and he was clearly mistaken for the new Easel. So someone wanted him dead. We don't know if it has anything to do with the original Easel or not. It's not been said. But I'm wondering if this, to any degree, is going to, cause a big enough change in Yang Chen to become a killer. Because we saw at the end of the first arc, that it was an Easel, and it looked like Yang Chen's Easel who killed Moon. I don't know why he would kill Moon unless he just goes absolutely crazy from this situation. But I don't know. We'll just have to find out, I guess. If we even get the answers yet, because with the way this series is set up, with all these different arcs and everything, we might not even get the answers until much later on. But yeah, it has been saying that everything will come together, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, this is the last episode of this arc, and I'm very curious to see if this does result in his downfall, or if they're gonna place something else with this. Because I don't know. I don't know what the goal is here. I don't know what the plan is. We've set up in the first arc this fear-based villain group, so maybe that'll come into play here. I don't know. All we know is this does take place before the events of the first arc. So the original Nice is still alive at this point. So I'm very curious to see what happens, I guess. I don't really have anything else to say, though, so I think we should just get right into this and see how this arc ends. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, fuck Rock. Um, just just to get that out there. He is evil. Like, there is no getting around that. Like, he's behind everything that happened in this arc. Shang Chao's death, the original Isol's death, because I did notice it did say that, the trust values merged because one of them perished, and we saw that, Yang Chen was the survivor in the end, so. That means he was also behind, kidnapping Pomelo. He also would have then, yeah, we saw that he killed the 2 criminal guys. It's like, he is behind everything, and he's behind at least 4 deaths here. The 2 criminal guys, Shang Chao, and, oh my god. And, the original Isol. And so, he is in no way a good guy. Despite being, the CEO of a hero agency, he is in no way, shape, or form a good guy. He is a villain. Straight up. And, again, everything is supposed to come to a head eventually, but I'm just wondering, like, is he going to get his comeuppance? And did he then manipulate Yang Chen into killing Moon? Is he the reason that he killed Moon? Because, it clearly has to be him now, unless there's a third Isol. It's so wild. And seeing this self-aggrandizing fall from grace that Yang Chen had in this episode because of his guilt, it's like part of this time you're blaming him because he's clearly doing this not to actually fix things, but for his own sake because of, again, his guilt. But then you realize he's been manipulated into this by Rock the entire time. He's not at fault here. Yang Chen is being gaslit and manipulated and led into this path pretty much against his will. This was all Rock's doing. So it's like, you can't really blame Yang Chen when he's, like, being emotionally and mentally manipulated this much. It's really fucked. And it's an interesting parallel to the first arc, because the first arc is, about Lin Ling, like, really coming to realize who he is and who he wants to be, rather than, just following in the footsteps of Nice. And it's this arc about self-discovery and, identity and just confidence in oneself as well. But this arc is a degradation arc. This is a guy who's already, heroic and very good and kind and becoming a bad guy, basically. Not in the literal sense to where he's actually acting as a villain, but in the sense to where it's clear that the manipulation that he's being subjected to is turning him into an unrepentant murderer and bad person. Because we know that he has 2 kills under his belts. In this arc, he has the original Isol, and in the first arc, he also has, at the end, Moon. So he's willing to kill people without, from what we can tell, any hesitation. Like, this battle with Isol in the first place was so premeditated, so planned out. And Rock obviously helped greatly with it, with the planning for it all. And it's just, it's such a like sad and upsetting note to end on because of like how he was manipulated into becoming this terrible person. And again, we know things are going to like connect eventually. We know things are going to come together in the end. But I'm just like in the same way that I hope that somehow Moon is able to survive, which I just don't think is going to be the case, but with the second one now, I just want Rock to get fucking arrested and hell, at this point probably killed. Like, he is, in my eyes, an irredeemable villain. And he needs to be taken down. And if somehow, like, Yang Chen were able to snap out of this and be the one to take him down, that would be satisfying. But, like I said, I do know that this was the last episode of this arc. So we have one more arc to go, and then we're going to take a break. The next arc is also 3 episodes, so we'll get through those 3 episodes, we'll take a break, and then we'll come back to it some point down the line. Like I said, the reason for this is just because this is a 2-cour series, a 2-cour Donghua series. 24 episodes in total, and this is about approximately halfway through, not exactly, but you know. I think this is the right point to take a break with, too, because this series does get very intense and emotional, and it's one of those shows that I feel like I need to take a break from halfway through or so, because I feel like otherwise it's like each new arc is just going to keep like stacking on to how much trauma and pain and upsetting emotions it's going to make me feel. And I'd rather, you know, take a break and kind of recuperate from that before like having to deal with a bunch more. So I feel like doing one more arc, getting through that, and then taking the break after that would be the smartest idea. Because again, one more arc will be episodes 8, 9, 10. And then we'll be able to come back for everything after. So, I don't know like how we're going to end up organizing this. I don't know if we're going to do like 1 episode and then 2. I don't know if we're going to do 2 and then 1. Or if we're just going to do them 1 each week. I'm not sure right now. We'll tackle that when we get to next week and that reaction. But yeah, for now, it's like I know I'm going to need a break. This is really good though, and I think overall I liked the first arc much better than this one, if I'm being honest. I was just more invested in the characters and the fact that it switched characters and the story here without me initially knowing it was going to do that did kind of throw me off. I also just found Lin Ling's story, the nice story, much better than Yang Chen's with Isol and everything. I just found that it was more interesting personally, and I was more invested in the characters and what was going on. With this one, it's just like I was invested, don't get me wrong. I was definitely very into this arc as well, just nowhere near the same amounts. I felt like very like blah in comparison, and it just didn't do as much for me. I didn't connect with Yang Chen the same way I did with Li Ling. I didn't connect with the story and the action or side characters. Like, honestly, I thought Moon was a better love interest side character than Xia Xing here, personally. And just generally, like, the threat of it all just felt like more interesting, because it had more of like, I guess, a cut and dry villain. While this one was like more of a surprise villain, which I'm not against. I'm very much not against surprise villains. But it's just like, it just felt kind of meh comparatively. And honestly, I kind of was getting annoyed by the entire E-Soul versus E-Soul battle. It's like, I understand why they did it, and it makes sense, like, for his for Young Chen's downfall. But still, and again, there's a lot I did like about it. Like, even just the moment with her, like, sitting at the concert and not enjoying it, but like breaking down into tears because he wasn't there with her, and instead he was, taking part in that self-aggrandizing title fight, I guess you could call it. It's like, that was really, like, upsetting. That was really upsetting, really emotional, and it's like, especially when it cut back to the crowd, like, a little bit later, and it showed she wasn't in there anymore. She had left. Like, this is her favorite musician and everything, and she left the concert because he wasn't there and because he was destroying himself, and all she wanted was for him to go to the concert with her, and he just, didn't. But yeah, I was noticing that Lucky Cyan was one of the characters from the opening, so she's probably going to be one of the future arcs. In fact, she might even be the next one. Because if we're going to continue the way this has been going, the first arc connected to the second with the ending showing, E-Soul killing Moon, and now this one, like, at the ending, shows the concert and we finally get to see, like, Lucky Cyan. I mean, unless we were going to focus on Rock, which I just don't see being the case. I feel like Lucky Cyan would be a logical choice. And do not tell me if I'm right or wrong, by the way. Please don't tell me. I want to, like, discover that on my own next week. Because if I'm right, then I want to be excited that I got that right. That I saw the connection there. I think one of my biggest gripes with this arc, with it especially being only 3 episodes, is that we didn't really get to know anything about the old E-Soul. And I don't know if we're going to get to in a future arc, but he felt like such an underdeveloped character for being so important to the plot. I know it was about Yang Chen, and I know he's the main character and everything. I understand that it wasn't going to focus too much on the old E-Soul, but, like, they set up some developments for him. And they were definitely building bits of his character, but never really went all the way. Never really developed him as much as they seemed like they were trying to build towards. And again, I don't know if that means they're going to do something more in the future, or if he just ended up being an underdeveloped character. But it really felt like they were going to do more with him. And so I'm really curious if they are going to, even though he's, dead currently. They could still do stuff through flashbacks and through, like, arcs that might take place previously. I mean, because this arc took place before the events of the first one, so. But yeah. It was still good. I still enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed my reactions to it. So yeah. Once again, we're going to do one more arc, and then we will take a break. We'll get to something else, and we're going to come back to this, like, quicker than probably some other stuff. Like, there's a lot of things I'll put on hold, and then it'll be months before I get back to them. I don't plan for that to be the case. I don't know exactly how long it's going to be, but I don't want it to be months. So, there you have it. But if you have any questions, any thoughts, or if you think I missed anything, please feel free to let me know. Just no spoilers for the future, please. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.